Hi, today we are going to discuss regarding Umbraco controller. So we will discuss what is Umbraco controller, what is their name, how can we use it, why we are using that Umbraco controller, and why we are using Umbraco controller. In Umbraco, we are using surface controller. Then a surface controller in Umbraco is a special type of MVC controller used to handle form submission and render partial views in the context of an Umbraco CMS website. Surface controllers are useful for managing user interaction such as form submission, AJAX request, and dynamic content rendering, while maintaining a clear separation of concern in your code. There is four type of controllers. One is a render MVC controllers. I hope you are the familiar with that one. It is same as we are using in MVC as well as ASP.NET controllers. Then there is a surface controller, which I have already defined earlier. Then there is a Umbraco API controller, and the fourth one is Umbraco authorized controller and attributes. So today we are going to discuss surface controller. Before that one, I'm just defining the render MVC controller for the background perspective. When you make a page request to MVC application, a controller is responsible for returning the response to that request. The controller can perform one or more action like action result, JSON result, and much more. By default, all front-end requests to an Umbraco site are auto-routed via the index action of core controller, which is Umbraco CMS web common controller dot render controller. We will discuss it. And for the Umbraco surface controller, it is inheriting from umbraco.web.mvc surface controller and typically includes action that returns partial views. These action can be invoked via forms or the AJAX request. For the creating the surface controller, there is a four step. First of all, you need to create the surface controller. Then you can create the a model as you have already creating in the MVC. Then either you can create the partial view or you can create the return the with the complete template. So today we are going to discuss these things in our topic. So let's log in over here. Suppose so first of all, I will tell you what is the routing and the other things. So once you will create a surface controller, let's we can create a surface controller. So in the application in the Visual Studio, let's create a section which is the name of controller, and folder name is controller. I'm creating a class over here, or you can say the controller. You can create the any one of them. Currently we are not using the entity framework, so I'm just creating the MVC empty controller. I'm adding over here, pointing the name of contact us controller. So by default it is generating by the controller. It is because by default it is using the MVC controller. So instead of this one, I'm just using surface controller. Once you inherit your class from the surface controller, it will ask that you didn't inherit all those things. So there's a two types. Either you can create the constructor and the inherit this one. Otherwise, what do? You need to just press control dot generate constructor for this one, and it will automatic the create a constructor, and now error has been gone. So in in over here there's a multiple of, you can see there's a multiple interfaces we are using over here, and the returning the base thing. So let me define what is over here. We will discuss it one by one, by these services, by the Umbraco context accessor, by the database factory services, app caches. These are the interfaces which we can use in our application. But if I go over here in the surface controller by the pressing F12, it is taking some time. So you can see it is inherited from the plugin controller, and in the surface controller protected, it is protected, and it they have created these thing, a controller over here. The same way we need to create a constructor and we need to demonstrate it over here. So currently I'm just creating this one and not doing much more thing, just returning the hello world content, or hello right John surface controller. Now what we need to do, first of all we need to check how can we access this one. Controllers, just running this one. Until this application is running, so let me define what path we need to hit over here. First of all, first of all we need to write Umbraco, then surface, as it is a surface controller, so surface prefix is over there, then the controller name, then action, and then their ID. If you are passing any kind of parameter and the other things, so that you need to pass this one. Oh, sorry, I forgot the forward parenthesis. Sorry, forward slash. So by this way, we can access this our surface controller. Umbraco surface. This is a default route of Umbraco surface controller. So this is a prefix. Always you need to keep this one. Before this one, you need to create the host name. So currently, what application we have run. Let me just over here. This is my local host. So by this way, what you need to do, slash Umbraco slash surface slash controller name. So in the controller name, I have written contact as controller. So in this way, you don't need to copy complete name like contact as controller. You just need to write contact as slash action. Action is index. So I will call this one and just I need to hang. I need to hit this one. After hitting this one, you can see the content I have written over here in my code. It has been reflected over here. Now what we need to do, we need to create a appropriate uh, view in respective of this controller where we can use this controller values. If write a wrong controller name like so it will return 404, it will return http error 404. So we keep in mind that it should be correct, otherwise it will return. Here you can see I have just write the surface and the controller name, and it is returning the my content value because by default it is initializing and recognizing index thing. But if you change this name by the another one, it will not work. So you should to in that case you should to write the action name over here. By default, index is a action default action in either in the MVC or in the Umbraco controller. There is one another controller uh, which is plugin controller. That's what we need to do. Plugin based controller. If you are shipping a surface controller in a package, then you should to definitely be creating a plugin based surface controller. The only difference between the creating a plugin based controller and the local declared controller, or you can say the surface controller, uh, there's only changes the attribute to your class, which defines the MVC areas you would like your controller to be routed through. For that example, what we need to do, I'm just stopping it. And before that one, I need to decorating it with the plugin controller, which should come with the Umbraco CMS web.common.attributes. I have added this one. In the plugin controller, in the parentheses, I need to define the controller name. Uh, Suppose controller package. So in that case, what I need to run? I need to run the package name over there. So once you will create a plugin type of controller, means if you decorate it with the plugin, so what you need to do, you it should be Umbraco, and instead of surface it should be the area name, and the controller name and the action ID will be same. So in this case, what will it do? It should be, sorry, the area name should be the same as the plugin name. The plugin we will discuss in our feature video. I'm just sharing the thing over here. So now again creating the one more thing, one more URL like this one. Let's discuss. Let's hit it. Now you can see by the name of the now I have removed the surface over here and just write the controller package name over here and contact us. It will again work for the index in the index case, same as the surface one. So there's a two way we can write it by the plugin and by the surface thing. Now how we will get or submit those form over here? Let's see. So in our next video we will discuss how can we submit a form through Umbraco surface controller or Umbraco page.